Welcome to Present Poetry, a podcast where we sit back, relax, and enjoy some poets of the past and present. I'm your host, Erin Crittenden, and before we get started on this week's episode, I want to remind you that all of the material used in this podcast is either public domain or used with permission from the author or the author's estate. It's a fun time for all ages, so sit back, relax, and get ready to hear this week's featured poet. This week's featured poet is Michael Shoemaker. Michael Shoemaker is a poet, writer, and photographer from Magna, Utah, where he lives with his wife and son and enjoys looking out on the Great Salt Lake every day. He is the author of Rocky Mountain Reflections and Grasshoppers in the Field, and his writing has appeared in Blue Lake Review, The High Window, Seashores Haiku Journal, the Penwood Review, as well as in anthologies such as Pure Slush and Echoes of the Wild. One of his poems is on the shortlist for the Letter Review Prize for Poetry and will be featured in the anthology of the Rio Grande Valley International Poetry Festival. We are reading a few of his poems that he submitted to us through the forum at presentpoetry.com. This poem is called An Alarming Indifference. You call me your enemy, but you do not know me. My fears, mistakes, worries, and woes, strength, courage, and resolve. You think we lap water from the same moving river in the same way, but you are mistaken. Every winter will fall, all piercing winds will bite, bombs will continue to incinerate our markets, streets, sanctuaries, and sanity, until annihilation's scythe falls with its last blow. Your grandchildren and my own will no longer gather fragrant wildflowers in the fields. You tell yourself you have no need to know me. Our loves are lofted away with the unsettled seeds of spring. I am waiting as time closes its gates of possibilities. Only peace makes us impregnable. Seek to know me. This poem is called Belongingness. When our eyes meet, sheer innocence, magnificence, tenderness, fearless finds. When our hands narrow, the space between canteros, warm fingers interlace, embrace, bliss. When our lives entwine, thrilled hearts and minds flourish and fly. This poem is called Let's Talk of Reality. Rhinestone stars, black felt heavens, opal illuminated moon, silver sequined seashores, only in my dreams, are less real than parking tickets, dog catchers, treachery, desperate destruction, and doom. Snuffed out with a thumb and forefinger atop the candle tip of all existence by my memory of your simple glowing deed of deliberate kindness today. This poem is called Heard Above the Clamor. Hail pounds with fervor, covering all outer noise, rattling window panes. The pastor preaches with God's power and love, vibrating the strings down to the rumbling of recalcitrant souls, shaking out hope and light on the swaying sunshine drying line of human hearts. This poem is called Zion's Continuous Standing Ovation. Scandalous, piercing Utah blue skies uphold surrounding and swirling red bluffs in a light breeze, left in layers of sediment seas, where blasted white crustacean bones and lifting red-tailed hawks still testify of millennia past, as this creek's frigid water runs over my ankles and through toes, spreading all loving whispered truths far downstream, I bite most reverently into a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, vowing to never be the same after this dangling, defining moment of crystallized clarity purified by fallen tears. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Present Poetry Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, feel free to like us, leave a review, or share us on social media. If you are a poet or you know someone who is, we would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us or submit your work through our website, which is www.present-poetry.com. Again, that is www.present-poetry.com. We can't wait to hear from you.